Welcome to the Health and Happiness Show. As many of you know, I, Janet Hawkins, will be your host this evening. I hope this finds everyone enjoying the change of season. We're going into September, and it's time to remember to take our vitamin D3. That's just a little reminder today because, our days are going to be getting shorter as the time goes on. So a little bit about myself. I'm a doctor of naturopath, and my goal is to share educational information on the holistic health. May it be some energy work, may it be exercise, may it be nutrition. We try to cover different areas to share the different opportunities in the holistic field. And we all need our medical doctor, of course, but it's nice to blend the two of them together. And that is what our purpose is. Like if you have a weak area, maybe some cardiac issues, you may want to consider some hawthorn, which is food for your heart. Or maybe you have some blood sugar issues, and you may want to consider some cinnamon balance, which is going to help balance your blood sugar. So we don't say you need this or you need that. Being a holistic medical naturopath doctor, what I do is I muscle test you. Everything has energy rate, and so I will muscle test, and if you are strong, say for the hawthorn, that is the one that you need. If you're weak, you do not need that. Everything has energy. May it be food, may it be a plant. We all have energy, and that's what helps us come to the conclusion what is best for you. So we do a newsletter every month, and of course we've talked about, this one was the one for August, and this is getting ready to go back to school. And of course next month we'll emphasize working on your immune system as well, going into the colder months as well. So we always try to have a different subject every month, and I always provide one of those as well, because as many of you know, I'm at the Hartfield Marketplace on Saturdays. I know I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be there in September. I know I have a wedding the 1st of September on the 6th, but we'll see how it goes from there. But I will be there for the month of August as well. So I just wanted to highlight you on remembering we are going back to school. And here we are. Hopefully all of the children are taking some chewable, maybe some gummies, some vitamins, or maybe some vitamin D as well, which would be very helpful. And also you may want to consider a good multivitamin, would be very, very important as well. But I thought I would concentrate today on, we will talk about preparing a kit for your children going off to college. This is a whole new chapter in their life. I'm sure they're a little nervous, they're a little restless, and they're curious, and they're eager to learn. So I think it's so important that we have a little kit that we put together for them. So to me, number one is the D3. The D3 we get from the sun. It's good for the immune system, it's good for the heart, and it's good for your bones. And so they're in a classroom, and are they going to be outside? Well, a little bit, but not much. So I think it would be a good idea to include a vitamin D3 supplement in their little box to go. And then also, I feel as though the Stress J may be very beneficial. So exactly, what is Stress J? Stress J has chamomile, which is a nervine, and passion flower. And this is going to help relax them because they're going to be nervous, possibly. If they tend to be a little emotional, it might be something you would want to consider. Just remember, I can put the program together for each of the children that are going off to college. And you can share with me if they tend to be a little restless or having difficulty sleeping, things of that sort. So it's something that I can put together personally for you. Then we also have the NutriCalm. So it's always a toss-up between the Stress J and the NutriCalm. The NutriCalm has a lot of the B complex. When we're under stress, we burn the Bs. And vitamin Bs are water soluble. So you have to really, support them every day, because I have a special drink that I use that has bees in it. It's a little powder that comes in a packet and has Siberian ginseng. And I drink that throughout the day. It helps my energy and helps with the stress level as well. So those are some nice choices as well. Now, if we're having difficulty sleeping, we may want to consider some magnesium. This will help your body relax at night. So I would probably take 2 or 3. One thing you have to remember, if you take too much magnesium, you could end up with diarrhea, and we don't want that while we're in school. No way. So I would start out with 2, and you should be safe, okay? And then, of course, there's a little flu, or there's a little cold going around, or something that just don't feel right. And that's where we include the olive leaf. Olive leaf is my favorite. It's the liquid. You put it in a little shot glass, and you add about probably 60 drops in the shot glass of water and drink it straight down. And this will help your viral bacteria, candida, or parasites. So you have to remember they only take that when they feel as though they're starting to get sick. Also, if you tend to have a child that is really very, very stressed, super stressed, maybe anxiety, things of that sort, you may want to consider the distress remedy. This is a homeopathic, and you can pull this up and you put this straight into your mouth. And it's a liquid. It's just like a homeopathic is what I said. And it's going to help calm you down. It's going to reduce the shock if you're going through a lot of emotional shocks, things of that sort. So that would be something to consider as well. But this is what is so unique about this situation of preparing a kit for your student going off to college. We can fine-tune it for your needs and their weak areas to support them. Also, we have this silver shield. This is so nice because you can use this directly into your eyes if you're having dry eyes from studying so much, or you can take it through the mouth and you don't have to dilute it. It's great, like we've talked about it with traveling, because I will be leaving and traveling, and I will be taking a container of this in my suitcase as well after being on the flight for 4 hours. I don't know what I've been exposed to. In the same way when you're in a classroom. So this is another option that we could consider as well. And then something new that we are now carrying is D3 and K2. And I know I have a client that is expecting her baby in October, and she was inquiring about the K2 vaccine. Of course, that's an individual choice, but the main reason they are endorsing that is because whenever an infant is born, they really don't have much of a clotting ability for their blood. So that is just trying to share what the benefits of that is. And of course, that's an individual choice about the K2 as well. Why would you add the K2? So it's for a blood clotting effect as well. So, but that I wouldn't consider that for college, of course. But I just wanted to share that with you. And then, of course, I would consider taking the chlorophyll. And the nice thing is the chlorophyll comes in the little packets. We have the chlorophyll right here, and the packets are fantastic. Maybe you have a son that is in football. You can take these packets and you can put it in his water bottle, like my UPS driver. I gave him several of these as well. Actually, I gave him a box. I said, here, early Christmas gift, you know, because he's working very hard, and this is going to help us with his energy, help clean him up, help his hemoglobin. It's going to do all of the above. So I feel as though this is a very good supplement if your child is especially in sports, or you can, you know, just put it in your water bottle and off you go in the morning if you're going to class, things of that sort. So that's an option as well. And it comes in a box, I think, like 30, and that is a choice as well if you'd like to do that. But it also comes in the liquid form too. And of course, whenever I'm doing a show, I always include that with samples as well. Here, we'll give you some as well. There we go. And what is so amazing, if I have any left over whenever I'm preparing a large amount, I will put it on my hibiscus, and it'll bloom in 2 days. So what does that tell you? This is very good for the body. The plant is showing how happy it is. So it is all going in and feeding. So there we are. We have our choices. If you have any interest in placing an order individually for your child going off to college, let me know, and we'll set up a time and discuss the needs that need to be addressed. Now also, I wanted to share with you, now we have a lot of things that are still producing as far as the organic produce. And as you can see here, we have our zucchini. We have our zucchini here. We have our tomatoes. I picked some parsley this morning. We have some cucumbers. But what I wanted to really share with you is we have our zucchini bread here. And I just made this yesterday. So I was going to share the recipe with you. It's an old recipe, so get your paper and pencil together, okay? So of course I would use 3 eggs. I'm very blessed that we have chickens. The neighbor and I share those together. And I would definitely do open range eggs, of course. So you do 3 eggs and then 2 cups of sugar. Now the sugar that I personally like and I use is from Aldi's, and it's organic, non-GMO, raw sugar. So that's all I use, because I feel as though if you buy the white sugar in the grocery store, it's GMOs as well, and that is not good. So that would be a suggestion. If you do go to Aldi's, check it out. It's non-GMO, raw, and organic as well. And I know when we were in Hawaii, I had bought some sugar over there, and it's very similar to what you get at Aldi's. The granulars are much larger than what your fine sugar is that you usually buy. So that, and it's more of a golden color rather than white as well, because it's not processed and bleached. So we have 2 cups of sugar, and then 3 cups of flour. And I like my flour. It's a very good brand. I don't like just the, what is the brand of it I get? The flour, yeah, it's in the red and white bag. I just bought some and I forget the name of it. I'll think of it. But anyway, 3 cups of flour and a good quality flour. And then we have 2 teaspoons of vanilla that you add as well, and 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And of course, we have 1 teaspoon of salt. I personally use Himalaya salt. That is my preference rather than the Martin salt, because again, it's bleached and processed as well, okay? And then I use sour cream, and I get the organic sour cream as well. And you use 1 cup of chopped nuts, and I use the walnuts, and 1 cup of coconut oil. I like the coconut oil. I use all coconut oil for all of my baking. That's all I use. And then 2 to 3 cups of zucchini. And you can see here's what it's like. It's excellent. And I know my brother was here from Florida, and I just sent a loaf home with him. So being by himself, I thought it would be a nice way for him to start out a good breakfast with maybe some fresh cantaloupe. But this is a time to enjoy the fresh products. We're right down to the end of our growing season. So it's still not too late to plant your lettuce. So try to remember to plant the lettuce as well. I planted mine probably I'm thinking about 4 weeks ago, but we had a little problem. The squirrels got into my container and they liked it too. So anyway, it's back up now, and it's about probably 1 inch, 2 inches tall. And I will have lettuce through probably October, because you have to understand, lettuce likes cold weather. So if you can put that outside in a container on your deck, you don't have to have a big garden, whatever. Just go outside and place it in the sun, because we still are having some sun. So enjoy what you can get. And it's so nice whenever you need a salad, you can go out and pick the lettuce and make your salad, and that makes it much better, and with your tomatoes as well. Now I have the little cherry tomatoes, and they're slowly warming up now and producing as well. But what I'm saying is, let's enjoy the fresh produce, the tomatoes, the zucchini, your fresh onions, your cucumbers, the corn now. Make sure the corn is non-GMO. And of course you can go to the farmer's market. There's one in North Canton. I believe it's at the Price Park. And then you can go to the Hartsville Flea Market as well. But you have to be very particular on there's certain farms there that have some great products. I know there's one gentleman that has a lot of peaches. He has fresh green beans. He has fresh tomatoes. And he's very good. And he works out of his truck. So I'm just giving you some guidance on how to find him as well. So I know they had some blackberries not too long ago and they were excellent. So I'm just saying, let's enjoy the foods that we have here now that are seasonal and organic, and we don't have to worry about all the chemicals and the pesticides. So I would like to introduce our speaker this evening, and we have, okay, I know I'll call you Alina. Oh, wait.
Aneela.
Anyway, she is a certified natural holistic coach. And it's such a great honor to have her here because she can give us a guidance on nutrition, what is best for us, how to shop, things of that sort. So how long have you been doing this?
I have been a certified natural coach for at least a few years now. Okay. I did my culinary training at the Natural Gourmet Institute in New York City. And it was all probably 85% plant-based, all local seasonal produce, and so we cooked about 8 hours in the kitchen and then got to enjoy all the foods.
Nice.
And it was a 6-month program, so I had chefs from all over the world, from Brazil to I think India, and even we had New Mexico, I think Japan, so the cultural background I really enjoyed.
Right. What was your favorite?
I think my favorite was probably the Ayurvedic type cuisine that we did. So it was very just well-rounded in all the different tastes and the flavors and noticing how meals complemented each other.
Nice.
And then my background as a coach, I did a 1-year online training through the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy. And that was all in terms of nutrition, wellness, kind of looking at the whole person and their whole background, seeing everything that could support them. And my yoga training as well, I did through Yoga Central, and that I'm continuing to do this year and just expanding my knowledge and enjoying it and trying to share it as many places as I can.
Good. So where do you start, with doing the show? What do you share with the clients on where do they start for nutrition?
I would say kind of look at how they're eating now, maybe what their food habits, their preferences are, if they have any allergies or sensitivities, and then guide them in terms of planning their meals, grocery shopping, kind of shifts long-term goals they have with their nutrition and wellness, and taking it one step at a time.
Right. It has to be a very slow process, I'm sure. Right. What do you find most of the difficulties are with being a little more focused on nutrition?
I think there's so many ways to eat these days, and the clients oftentimes I find are influenced by all the different avenues out there, looking online for sources like how should I eat, what's the best strategy and the way. And so I usually think they get confused and they just say I need someone with a background and knowledge and passion for food, and just to give me ideas on where to start.
That's good, very good. Good. Now, do you endorse the Yucca app as well?
I have tried that.
Okay, yes, I have the printout on the Yucca app as well. And I know when clients come in, I always share that with them as well. And the Yucca app is awesome because what you can do, get the app on your phone, and all you do is zap the code and see what it is, you know. So it'll tell you good, bad, or poor. It's amazing. So if you're starting out, this is a good way to help you in your grocery shopping.
Yes, 100%. I think that's one of the big parts too, is just clients not sure what products are safe or clean, and so I definitely think this is a beautiful app.
Yeah, you can have that if you want, okay?
Thank you.
So I always enclose that because nutrition is so important. That's why I thought it was so important to have you here, so you can go in a little bit deeper than what I offer. So, you know, I'll let you take it from here, okay?
Thank you so much, Janet.
Okay.
I think I just love, I think there's so much to the way we eat and the way we prepare our meals. And I know we talked about the seasonal produce. I focus too on superfoods. So I think just highlighting the benefits of certain foods and how to get a balanced.
So what do you consider a superfood?
Superfood, I would say things like kale, like chia seeds, one of my favorites. So a food that is extra nutrient dense and offers like a whole spectrum of benefits to the body beyond just maybe a couple highlights.
So say, for example, what is your favorite one, superfood?
Favorite one, I think probably chia seeds.
So why do you prefer the chia seeds? If you're asking, because I'm familiar with them, but how do you incorporate that in your diet?
Chia seeds, I love to make chia pudding. So usually it's about 3 tablespoons of ground chia seeds. And you can use water or like a plant-based milk in the morning. It makes a really nice breakfast, and you can add nuts or berries. So they're kind of a nice way to get a lot of fiber, omega-3s, and even some natural protein.
So whenever, you know, I like to kind of see the eye appeal. So do you use that in a Vitamixer to mix it up, or how do you mix it?
Usually in a jar, and then you'll add it in and then shake it up.
Oh, you don't have to do a mixer or anything.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
The nice thing is it's almost kind of like a little yogurt parfait, but kind of thicker texture. But you can make it the night before or even in the morning.
Okay.
And it makes for a really lovely breakfast or even a snack.
So say you use 3 tablespoons of the chia seed.
3 tablespoons.
To how much water?
To 1 cup of water.
And is that going to thicken up?
That will thicken up. I usually like to use like a plant-based milk, so like a walnut milk or hemp even, or almond milk, and then that will help thicken.
Okay, yeah, because I like the almond milk. That's my favorite, but I'm not a dairy person to speak of. But in the wintertime, I will have it. Are you familiar with Plant Strong?
Yes.
Yeah, because okay, good.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that because I love their cereal. It's very good because I'm not a cereal person to speak of, but in the wintertime it seems to hit the spot.
Yes. You know. Yeah, I agree completely. I think the brands too make such an impact in just finding certain cereals or different items in the store that really connect, and certain ones stand out. So that I know there's.
So where do you suggest you get the chia seeds?
Chia seeds, I typically from any health food store.
Or like Raisin Rack, Fresh Thyme?
Fresh Thyme.
Yeah, okay. And is there any particular brand, or are they all organic?
I think all organic typically.
Okay, good, okay. I'm going to have to try that. 3 tablespoons to a cup of milk or water. Which do you prefer?
I prefer the milk.
That's what I'm thinking.
It adds a better flavor.
And then it gets thick like ketchup? No, or like pudding?
Kind of like pudding.
Yeah, pudding.
And then you can add cinnamon to it, cocoa powder even. There's so many varieties and flavors. Vanilla is one of my favorite things to add.
Okay. And then can you add maybe some fruit, like some red raspberries, things like that, or some blueberries?
Yes, so blueberries, any kind of berries, that's my favorite way to top it off, usually at the end.
That's interesting. I'm going to try that. So, you know, I might even prepare it and show the the viewers on how easy it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. I think it would be a great thing to try and to sample. And
Yeah. And the benefits are nutrition as far as fiber and what else?
fiber, omega-3s, antioxidants,
Yes.
and a little bit of natural protein.
Right. And I think we all need an extra fiber as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. Well, thank you for that. That's a good healthy tip.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course.
We should have made that up today. That would have been a
Yes.
good. I like to do the visuals so they can understand what we're doing. Okay. So what other good tricks do we have? Other superfoods? That's your number one. What's number two?
Number two, no, it's kind of simple, kale. I do like kale as like a diverse green, and it's got a lot of different profiles to it. I like with kale being able to make kale chips is one of my favorites. So I know kale has a number of different qualities to it, and I know
And they're called kale chips?
they're called kale chips. I know, so kale's got the vitamins A, C, and K, and a natural fiber. And so the best way, I think, with kale chips, you can cut them up and kind of season them with nutritional yeast.
So when you're talking about the kale chips, so you buy the kale, do you put it in a dehydrator?
Yes, a dehydrator is probably the best way, if not in an oven. It takes a little bit longer, but I've made things like even, sounds different, but chocolate kale chips. So they almost become like a dessert with cocoa powder, a little bit of natural sweetener, and some salt. And so the variety, it makes a nice healthy alternative to chips or something like popcorn.
Because I have a dehydrator, but I haven't used it for a long time.
Ooh.
So you just buy the kale at the health food store, and then let's say most people probably don't have a dehydrator, so say we're going to use the oven. So what temperature would you put that at?
The oven, I believe, around 350, and it does take maybe up to an hour.
Okay, and then what do? Do you cut the chips up, the kale, in little small pieces?
Yes, probably bite size, or maybe a little bigger than bite size, as the kale, I think, typically tends to shrink.
Like 2 by 2?
2 by
That's what I'm
2.
thinking. Yeah. Okay. And then do you just put them on the cookie sheet, or do you put parchment paper down and put them on the parchment paper? What do you do?
Parchment paper.
Okay.
I think that's a good base for them, and I usually will season them first. So if
Season before you put them in the oven.
season them with some kind of oil, healthy oil, like you could melt coconut oil or even olive oil, and then all different spices. Nutritional yeast is a really nice one, which has some natural B vitamins. And then also, I think you can do like a sweet version, a savory version, and those can just be like a nice little snack, or even sometimes I'll top it on a salad or something for an extra
All right,
crunch.
so I'm going to experiment with that. So you're telling me I go to the store, health food store, and I buy the kale. Does it come like in a head like cabbage, or does it come loose?
Usually comes in a head like cabbage.
That's what I thought. Okay, so then I have to cut it up into the squares of the size that I want, right? And then do I dip it the coconut is usually solid, so I probably have to do the olive.
Yeah.
And then you could dip the little pieces in the olive oil, or is it best to use a little brush? Because I have a little brush that I could dab it on.
Best to, I think, you can make the seasoning on the side in a small bowl, and then put all the kale in a larger bowl and kind of toss the seasoning on top, and then mix it by hand. And it really helps I think massaging kale is a really great way, like in a salad or kale chips, to really incorporate the nutrients.
All right, but what I'm confused about is when do I put the oil on the kale first and then add the seasonings?
Yes. Well, I think the best way would be the seasonings and then the spices in a separate bowl, and then drizzle over the kale.
Okay, but I put the oil on first.
Oil on first.
And then the seasoning goes on top of that.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'll have to play with that. I think that would be fun to try.
It's a really
especially
fun
in my
project.
dehydrator. If I don't use that, I can try the oven as well. You know, so nice, very nice, interesting. So you can see what's on my list: kale and the chia seeds.
Yes.
Okay. So what other good things do you have to suggest for superfoods, or anything else that would be helpful for us?
So another one, I like berries, which I know there's a number of different ones,
Okay.
but like blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, and I think again getting them organic ideally, or from a local farmer's market. And with the berries, there's so many ways. I think the more color in our foods oftentimes speaks to their nutritional quality as well.
Absolutely, yes, yes, yes.
So I think.
And the thing is, you mentioned strawberries. Always make sure your strawberries are organic, because you use a lot of chemicals and pesticides on the strawberries today. So that's one thing to always remember about the strawberries. So
Absolutely.
yeah, good, very good. And then don't forget, we also have the Dirty Dozen list.
Yeah.
And the Dirty Dozen list, these are the ones they use a lot of chemicals on. And the first one, of course, is strawberries. And then number 2 is spinach. And then kale as well, which you were just talking about. And the nectarines, and the apples, and the grapes, and the cherries. And there's been a lot of cherries out there right now.
Oh, yeah.
I know, because they have the little dark red ones, and then they have the light little orange ones as well. Because I see them at Raisin Rack. That's my go-to. I usually go there.
I love that store.
Because I like going there, because everything is organic. Where you might go to, and I'm not, whatever's convenient for you. Let's put it that way. You may go to Giant Eagle. They have organic, a little section, or you may go to Fresh Time, a little section, and then the standard conventional as well. But I prefer to go to Raisin Rack, and I don't have to fuss about it. But it's convenient for me, and maybe it's not for you. So what works for you is best, right?
I agree.
Okay.
Raisin Rack is one of the best stores, and it's just the size and the variety that they have and everything.
Right.
The organic produce.
Good, good. So what is usually whenever you work with a client, I know there's many different choices. One could be weight loss, one could be allergies, or maybe they have blood sugar issues. They're diabetic. So what you do is you probably do an inventory on exactly what's going on.
Yes, I usually have them do some kind of food log. So I'll have them record everything they've eaten over maybe the past 5 days and the timing of the meals. And then I'll get a better idea of, how I can guide them and say, okay, maybe this is a picture of one day, and let's see, maybe 1 or 2 changes we could make to help make it more balanced, or maybe add 1 new extra superfood, or maybe try 1 new vegetable a week. I focus on their water intake. I focus on, if they're looking for healthy snack ideas, I try to give some, but I think just an overall picture.
So what are some examples that you would give for a healthy snack choice?
Healthy snacks, I guess kale chips is one we kind of talked about briefly. Kale chips might be one idea. Doing something like an apple and almond butter would be a nice snack they could have.
Now the almond butter, you put that on the apple, or you're just saying just as a little snack itself, single?
I think it pairs really well with the almond butter. So that could be a nice snack for them to have on the side, or sometime if they need something on the go or during their day.
The almond butter is kind of like how do I say it? It's like a peanut butter type.
Kind of like
consistency.
peanut butter.
Right, exactly, because I've had it before. But I usually would just put it on an apple for a snack. I don't know, dip it in that. Is that what you usually do?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. That's
Okay.
one of my personal favorites.
Okay, good.
Sometimes even like celery or some raw vegetables with some hummus would be another nice snack.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yes.
They
good.
could do.
Nice.
Those are some of the ones I recommend. Another one, there's these energy bites.
Oh.
Small little energy balls. You can put things like hemp seeds, cocoa powder, even chia seeds, and they make for like a nice little healthy alternative to maybe a granola bar or something. They freeze well, they refrigerate really well. I'll have to make some next time to demonstrate and for tasting, but those are also lovely to have.
Those would be nice, yeah, because I think I made the energy balls, and I'll have to find the recipe. I haven't made them for a long time. But they were really good. They had some chia seeds, and I don't remember what the base was.
I know there's, I want to say, a lot of different variations, but it would be fun to have a recipe for all the different.
Yeah, that would be
energy
nice for
balls.
that, and share the recipe and make them so you know exactly what you're providing. And I like the fact that you can put it in the freezer and take and pick as you go. If you're busy weekend, maybe the son is in football practice, whatever, you know, there you go. You can do that, and then you have your chlorophyll. You can put it in your bottled water, and off you go. So the healthy practice is that's what we want.
Perfect combination.
Yeah, nice, very nice. So if do you include their exercise routine? It's not just nutrition. You put a whole schedule together for them.
Yes.
I'll let you explain that.
The exercise I highlight and usually ask them what kind of movement they love to begin with, and say, do they like, usually I'll recommend some kind of cardio, some weightlifting. If they like to walk, I recommend, exploring different parks in nature, and try to often guide them towards local trails. If they have favorite ways of moving, like dance, yoga for stretching. Mm-hmm. So I'll really try to make exercise fun. I think it's so important that it's something you enjoy, whether it's biking or tennis or golf.
Or swimming, whatever is the one that you enjoy. And may it be swimming in the summertime, maybe bicycling in the fall. In the wintertime, got me thinking. We can be hiking outside, we can walking if the weather permits. Movement is fantastic. We've got to move or we're going to lose. Yes. I really believe that.
Motion is lotion.
Exactly, yes. Very, 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 very good. So, what do you suggest for sugar substitute?
Sugar substitute.
Because a lot of people sugar's like a drug. We're addicted to it, and I know keep telling myself I need to work on an equation of honey equals sugar and use that in baking. Now, do you use sugar to bake, or do you use honey, or how do you work with that?
I try to use, more natural sources. Once in a while I'll use unsweetened applesauce.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And it actually kind of can complement or replace an egg even. So for anyone with egg allergies or just looking for something, it adds a really soft texture. So even potentially zucchini bread applesauce could work as an alternative there. So that it's a little natural sweetener, but no added sugars. Cinnamon too, I try to really focus on the spices, and vanilla extract I'll use. Once in a while, if there's monk fruit extract.
I've heard of that, yes.
That can be something, or stevia if it's in a natural form.
Right. And do you like the monk fruit in an extract or in the powder form?
Usually, I think in the extract.
Okay, all right. Because I know I've used the stevia in the extract as well, but I have found the less you use, the better. If you use too much, it's very, very bitter.
Yes, yep.
And that's something I think you need to be aware of if you're starting to use that as well. So, because I was, that doesn't work. So less the better whenever you're using the stevia. And that is either powder or the liquid as well. Okay, good. good. And by the way, the flower was King Arthur that we couldn't remember the name of.
Yes.
King Arthur is the best flower. It's unrefined and it's very, very nutritional.
I love that one.
Yeah,
That's one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, because that's all the flour I use. And sometimes if I usually get the larger bag and I'll put it in the freezer to keep it preserved as well if I don't use it quickly.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So many amazing ways to store and keep our foods.
Right, exactly. Yes, exactly. And that's like with the zucchini bread. Now what you can do too is, and I've done this before, you can freeze this. You can shred it up, like we don't take the skin off. You just shred it with the skin on. And like in my zucchini recipe, I use 2 to 3 cups. I prefer 3 cups, actually a little bit more than that. I'll throw a little bit more extra in. And you can put that in a bag and you can freeze that. So come either January, December, whatever, or Thanksgiving time, you can get this out and make some fresh muffins, or you can make the bread, and there you go. So I think I forgot to share that with you, but I know that's what I've done before as well. And I know I have extra zucchini, so I'm going to freeze some as well.
Beautiful.
So there you go. And it's simple. All you do is shred it, put it in a bag, there you go. Just put the date on it so you don't forget.
That's lovely. Anything homemade and just being able to share that is such an amazing,
right, exactly, yeah.
Amazing experience.
So, okay, so what else is so important? We know we've talked about the snacks, which is so important, and of course fresh fruit. I mean, we got apples coming into season now as well, and I know they spray the apple trees. Is that going to affect the apple, in your opinion?
Yes, yeah, I believe definitely what they spray and the different sources where you find the produce can be something to consider. So I know there are like maybe a healthy kind of like a fruit-based spray that if it is non-organic you can wash it with, but in general like that Dirty Dozen article and just being mindful of where. And even asking the farmers. Right,
exactly, yeah, because apples are the 5th one on the Dirty Dozen list. And also I forgot to mention celery, and what they've just added is potatoes. And I'm just saying, I know I've gone to Fresh Thyme, and if I needed potatoes, they do have the organic potatoes there. They're kind of hard to find, but I have found them there as well. So I was shocked that, but I belong to the Weston Price Foundation, and that keeps me up on all of the news as far as the organic and a lot of the foods that are available to us today. And the potatoes were added to the Dirty Dozen list probably in the last year or 2.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
You know, and of course, I'm sure many of you are gardeners and you have grown your own potatoes as well, so you know that there can be organic and they're non-GMO as well. So that's what's so great about having a garden. We know what we're getting, and we can go out and pick it when it's ready and enjoy the green bean crops or the peas early in the spring. So God was good and provided everything at a great time, season time. Okay.
Beautiful. I think, like you mentioned with the garden, even starting your own little herb garden is a nice way to have either on the counter or outside, growing things like mint or cilantro or basil. One of my favorite recipes is a pesto. So making like a homemade pesto using basil and walnuts, lemon juice and garlic. Adds a lot of flavor to really any meal or as even salads.
One thing that I will share with you is that I have my peppermint. Now, if you're going to start peppermint, put it in a container, because my peppermint's all over. It spreads.
It grows like
because
wildfire.
I couldn't believe it. In my one flower pot, there's some peppermint coming out beside the flower. So I don't know how it spread there, but it is. But it comes back every year, which is great. And same way with the chives, they come back every year. So those are just things that, but the peppermint, I think it's best to put it in the individual pot so it doesn't spread so much. I
Yes.
didn't know that when I started it, like probably 15 years ago. So if anybody needs a peppermint start, let me know. I have plenty.
Lots of peppermint to go around.
Right. Well, what do you usually use the peppermint for?
I love it in teas.
Well,
is
tea,
one of
that's
my
what I was thinking. I can go out and
favorites.
just pick a leaf and put it in your brewed tea or iced tea,
Iced
correct?
teas, brewed teas,
Lemonade?
lemonade. Oh
Mm-hmm.
yes, a homemade lemonade, which is fun too. I think making different like alternatives to water, so like a fruit infused water, or putting mint with lemon juice and Himalayan salt,
Right,
like you
yeah,
mentioned.
that'd be very good, yes.
So refreshing beverages that keep us hydrated and nourished.
Now, what is your favorite recipe for lemonade?
Lemonade. I would
Because I
say
always get organic lemons,
organic lemons.
okay, and then I squeeze the juice, and then I add the, organic sugar. But rather than sugar, what else could I use?
I think there's something I've experimented with, inulin powder, which is like a natural fiber and has a little bit of sweetness to it.
It's called what?
It's called inulin powder.
I'm not familiar with that.
I believe it's from a plant-based source, and you can add it to smoothies, but it adds like a natural little sweetness. And then there's some fiber and no added sugars.
Yeah, I like that. I'll have to try that. Now, that would be at the health food store as well?
That would be, Raisin Rack, Fresh Thyme,
Okay, what was it again?
inulin powder.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that. I'll have to check that one out.
We've got a lot of experiments to try.
Right, exactly. And then, because with the hot summer we've had, the lemonade is fantastic.
Yes.
Because I know we were out to eat on Sunday, and I had lemonade, but I didn't even ask because I was at a restaurant. So it wasn't the fresh like I would make at home. So, but that's good to know. So we have about another 8 minutes left. Is there anything else you want to cover before we close?
I think something else with maybe anyone's with allergies, food allergies, when you're eating out or even preparing at home. So there's so many, I know these days, from gluten to soy, eggs, dairy. And so I think just there's a lot of restaurants these days that are mindful of allergens, and when eating out, just giving them the opportunity to learn something new. And I oftentimes, whenever I go out to eat, I'll just ask them, how was it prepared? Was there cross-contamination involved? And then kind of gives them an opportunity to learn something for anyone else struggling with the allergens. And it's given me a lot of feeling of empowerment in eating out and even traveling. So that, I think, is something that the more we can alert and inform restaurants of the food allergies and sensitivities, the more, the more connection we'll be able to have in trying new foods outside, as well as at home. I think there's so many beautiful methods to preparing foods, and just making sure that the surfaces are cleaned, and also just when having guests over, there's so many ways to make foods allergy friendly, and
Right.
from kids to teens and adults.
Are you finding that there's more and more allergies today?
Yes.
And why do you think? Is it because of the processed foods, packaged foods?
I think that's a huge part of it. I think the way the processed foods, the foods we've eaten since we were younger, and just everything that they've added, the chemicals and things.
So that's why it's best to go the organic, maybe simple, and know exactly where your food is coming from. Don't get me wrong, I understand whenever you question going out to the restaurant. Like I'm at the market on Saturdays, and I needed a cantaloupe, I was hungry for cantaloupe, and I knew I was getting company, and I thought I would share that as well. Well, I go to the one market vendor. Where did your cantaloupe come from? It came from California. I'm like, I mean, I just want something locally grown. Do you understand? And so I went around and found the one farmer that grows their own, and it was delicious. So I am getting you a cantaloupe, and I have my daughter wants one as well because she stopped over when my brother was there, and she said, "Oh my goodness, this is the best cantaloupe."
Wow.
It was so sweet and moist. So, you know, it's so important, especially this time of year when we have the ability to get local. You know, and I'm just giving you ideas on where you can go, and you have to ask questions, and it's just your right to know where did it come from, you know, and the background. So, I mean, especially when it's coming from California, how long did it take to get to Ohio?
Right.
Probably, 3 days, maybe 4 days, and then it sits another day or two until it gets to you. So, coming from the local farmer, I'm sure that they picked it maybe 1 or 2 nights ahead of time, days ahead of time. So, that's something important. So don't be afraid to ask. It's only, you're the customer. You want what is best.
Yes, and I love just meeting the farmers and getting to hear kind of their story about their farm, where they're from, and it's just a great connection.
Right, and I really admire them. It takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, and if you're doing organic, I believe they have to have their soil checked periodically.
Yes.
Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And so we know that we are getting whole, good foods because the world has changed so much. And that's why it's important for us to be a little more proactive in our diet. Nutrition is just vital for us today.
It's such the foundation of our health, and I think
Yes.
being able to see anyone and their passion for nutrition and wanting to change and make improvements inspires me to keep coaching and to keep working on a level of how can I best support them and how can I best learn something new about the foods that we're choosing each day.
Well, the next time we do the show, we're going to have the demonstration.
Yes.
And I am going to try to work on the chia seeds.
The chia seeds, kale
with the
chips.
almond milk. I just add 3 tablespoons of the almond milk and stir it up, right?
Yes.
That's it. It's
really
simple.
simple. Even in a jar, we'll make it sometimes the night before and just shaking it up, and it just turns into this beautiful breakfast. I think I've made a chocolate chia pudding before. So
what did you put? Chocolate powder in it? Cocoa powder?
Cocoa powder.
Yeah, I have the cocoa powder.
Cocoa nibs.
Nice, nice. And then add a little bit of fruit to it as well.
A little bit of fruit.
Yeah, so that'll be our surprise for next month, okay?
Something to look forward to.
So, and then hopefully, you have the opportunity to get your zucchini, freeze them, shred it up so you can make nothing nicer in the wintertime to make some zucchini muffins. I like the muffins. They're very good with some fresh fruit beside you. And then have the chia seed, little,
chia seed pudding.
Yeah.
And then
does it get the consistency of like yogurt, or is that too thick, or is it a little thinner?
a little thicker, almost.
Really?
So it's a really interesting texture.
Because I'm a yogurt person as well.
Me too.
And I might switch that over and see how I like that.
Yes, it's a beautiful alternative to yogurt. So it's a nice, like on off days, trying a chia pudding.
Nice, very
Chia
nice.
pudding as well. There's one other thing it made me think of with the zucchini bread.
Yes.
I know I'd mentioned applesauce, and for anyone, another way to add extra fiber, there's a way to make a flax egg. And so you could try bringing something in maybe next time with, I think it's 1 tablespoon ground flax to 3 tablespoons water, and it creates essentially an egg replacer, but natural source of fiber.
People that have allergic, okay.
People with egg allergies or sensitivities.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Our time is up. I thank you for taking the time to share, and hopefully this has given a lot of the viewers some insight to be motivated to freeze maybe some green beans, things like that, maybe can some tomatoes, which I usually can my whole tomatoes for vegetable soup in the wintertime. So hopefully this has given you a little motivation to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, and enjoy and provide for a good winter. So thank you so much, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
It's
and
been an
enjoy,
honor.
everyone. Thank you.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.